Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let the Lady Speak. I am your one and only host, SG, also known as Sonia, or Sonia, also known as SG, from Let the Lady Speak podcast. As you guys know, we have healthy discussions about life, love, dating, and relationships while promoting self love, healing, and healthy dating. Today, I am doing a live about Married at First Sight, season 14. This is episode 11. This is the midway mark. We are about to find out whether or not these couples are going to do better the second half. I guess we'll see. I wanted to do a live because I wanted to connect with a couple people. So if you stop in, please say hi, thumbs up the video, and just to try something different. So let's get started. We are midway through. This is the anniversary week. All the couples have their anniversaries, and then we have the couples give each other dates, give each other gifts, and go on dates and things of that sort. If I would have to put a theme to this episode, here are my few themes. Number one, people want titles, but they don't want relationships. Like, they don't want the work, they don't want the compromise. They just want to say they're married, but they're not ready to actually go forth and do the work for marriage and or relationships, or to even just show up healthy in a relationship. That's something. The other one is poor intentions leads to bad outcomes. You have to check your intentions. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is really the reasoning behind the choices that you make and the things that you're doing? And I really want to speak this with Elijah and Lindsay. Another theme I will say is that you'll never be enough for a broken black hole. So if a person is really, really broken, if a person is really, really not able or willing to do the work, that person will never be satisfied. The post will always move. You have to allow people to be in a better place before you try to be in a relationship, or wait until the person is in a better place. And honestly, I really want to talk about accountability this episode when it comes down to a few of the people. So let's get started. Let's start with Steve and Noy. I'm going to be looking down because my notes are here, and y'all, I could talk a lot, so I don't want to get too far off track. So, Steve and Noy. Things are starting to make a little more sense with the two of them. What we noticed with Steve and Noy was that, hey, Kimberly, how are you, honey? Thank you for stopping by. Um, I appreciate you. So first up, we're talking about Steve and Noy, Kimberly, and we learn a little bit more about how Noy isn't necessarily being straightforward and honest when she presents on camera. So we think Steve is just like not talking about money, but we find out later that Steve has been trying to talk about the plan for finances, but Noy has been avoiding this conversation. And honestly, I just think Noy has it set in her mind that she wants this relationship to be how she wants it to be. And she wants Steve to have a traditional job. Now, if I was Steve and Noy, if we were to all sit down at the table and have a conversation, let's say, I would say, if you're going to compromise to stay in this relationship, Steve, how much money can you for sure bring in every month? Noy, how much money would be comfortable for you? Okay. So let's just decide on a dollar amount. So $10,000 a month. Steve, you need to bring in $10,000 a month. Steve brings in $10,000 a month minimum, and he can still do all the cooking and the cleaning and the other things. I'm good, love. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. You let me know if you want to come up here if you have something to say about Married at First Sight. You still not sold. You're not sold on Steve. I think Steve. Hey, Monique. Welcome. Good to see you. So good to see you, ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight. Y'all let me know if you want to come up. I got to figure out how to share the link, child. Um, I know that Steve, let me put this up here just in case. I know that a lot of people aren't sold on Steve because he's so secretive. I think Steve is offended, though. I think Steve feels like, how dare y'all question whether or not I could make money? Do you know what I can do? But the problem with that is, you know, he has the right to want to live his life, but Noy has the right to security and she doesn't feel safe with him. That's just the bottom line. She doesn't feel safe. And if she doesn't feel safe, you got to either make her safe or y'all need to part ways. Like, I'm a person that believes in solutions. So I don't believe in dragging things on forever and having the same conversation over and over again. I just feel like you need to say what it is that you mean, what you want, what you like, where we can meet in the middle, or if we can't at all, and let's go ahead and get an exit plan. But they're living in la la land and that's not working. But getting back to the plan, it would be for me, Steve, you will have to prove to me that you'll be able to bring in this dollar amount a month. Because if you notice, Noy still wants Steve to take care of him. Noy still wants Steve to like take care of her, rather. You're the president of Tees. I like Steve. You know what? I would date Steve. Let me tell you something. I would date me as Steve because I like acts of service. That is my love language. And so for me, you can do all the cooking and the cleaning and the organizing and everything around this house. He's calm tempered. He just want to live his life and do what he wants to do. That's fine. As long as you feel like you have a purpose. So Steve, you need to have a purpose. A man without a purpose is a man without a country, and they'll go wandering if they don't have purpose. So we need Steve to have purpose. You need to bring in whatever we agree on every month, and you need to understand and know your value as a person. So you can't be out here insecure, because again, then we got to worry about you trying to fulfill your needs in other places. But as long as you can bring in the dollar amount that we agree on, and as long as you can do what you need to do around the house, and that makes you feel good, I'm here for it. I'm here for a man that cooks and cleans and can bring home money. Works for me. I just need to know that you can do that. And I don't know. I am the team. Yeah, a therapist would definitely be needed. That is for sure. So I feel, what do you guys feel about that? Do you think if Steve could guarantee Noy a certain dollar amount every month, that that would be fair? I, because like again, he takes a lot of burden off of the house, and I think Noy is a little lazy too, if I'm gonna be honest. Do y'all think that that could work? Because that's what I would want. I'm like, okay, you just got to prove to me you can bring this money in. As long as you can do that, you don't need a traditional job. You can buy insurance, you can buy health insurance, you can pay out of pocket for a lot. You can get backup insurance, you can do life insurance. If you know how to do your businesses right, shout out to Kimberly Reviews. If you know how to set up your LLCs right and do your S corps and things like that, like you can find a way to make all of this work. You just have to be willing to work with your partner. And I don't think Noy understands that or is there with that, but also Steve isn't giving up enough information. And I think he needs to communicate more clearly as far as what his plans are and what he's capable of doing. But I think he try to tell Noy from the boat ride that he tried to explain to her, but she's avoiding it. She just wants him to have a 9 to 5, and she's digging her heels in on that. I would be okay with it too, Kim. I would love a man that did most of the chores around the house. You hear me? That's my love language. You talking my language now. That's fair, but noise. And that's true. That's very true, Monique. And I think it's all about a mindset. They don't have the same mindset. And since they don't have the same mindset, she doesn't get it. I'm gonna keep your comment up here because that is so true. Like I can see your vision. And I think that's what is holding Steve back. I think he feels like I have a vision and you just don't see my vision, or you won't take the time to see my vision. Hi, Vibe. Good to have you ladies here. You won't take the time to see my vision, and that's part of the problem. But all I need to do is just communicate. But Noe has to kind of get out of her own way. She's just steadfast that he has to go to work from 9 to 5. And someone said that, well, it's because she doesn't want him just around the house, but she's also working from home. So that also allows more freedom. If Steve has like a lot of resource. He's a very resourceful man. Steve can get a contract and do $10,000 for one contract and probably just work a week for that contract. Like, get to understand that about him. I think that is where the issues are. There's just some miscommunication. And I also noticed that when they were at the date, how Steve was trying to like express that they have good time and bad times, and it made Noi feel a little uncomfortable. I think Noi feels like we have to present. So for me, I feel like she is just about a presentation of it all. I think she just likes to present a certain way without really getting into the meat and potatoes. But I don't know. What else are you guys' thought on Steve and Noi? Thank you to everyone that's here. Please thumbs up the video. I appreciate you. So we're gonna go on to Mark and Lindsay. Mark does not like Lindsay. Mark is trying. He's trying to be good. He's trying to show her some love. He did a really good job, I felt, this time with their date and going out and doing what she likes. But I think Mark gives her a false sense of security. I don't think Mark is really communicating to Lindsay like, these are my requirements. If we stay together, this is what's important to me. Not that Lindsay really listens well, but I feel like he really, really needs to communicate that with her, and communicate what these actions mean. Because him telling her that he's going to always protect her and do these certain gestures for her, but he knows he doesn't really want to be with her, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be an issue. You know, he does aid in this like up and down. I don't think he should be intimate with her or anything like that because Mark, you don't really want to be with Lindsay. Let's just be clear. Whenever she touches him, he like moves or he squints. Like you can tell he's just so uncomfortable with her presence. I'm like, Mark, just be honest, honey. You don't really want to be with him. I don't know how he handles her either, high vibe. She makes me uncomfortable too. She's just always on her. She's just a lot. Like he says, she's a lot. And she's so inappropriate, and you never know what's going to happen. You never know what she's going to do. And quite honestly, she does things for shock value. She wants to shock you. She wants you to be uncomfortable. You know, it's something that she enjoys doing. I really don't like how she handles them, but he did an outstanding job with their date. I thought that was very thoughtful. It was very much what she was into. I'm so sorry, excuse me. So I thought they were doing well, but I don't know, I feel bad for Mark. And then with the whole Mark losing his job, so I feel bad that he lost his job. And again, like Lindsay is so manipulative in my opinion. Her thing is, you don't need another job. Just concentrate on your purpose. I'm like, Lindsay, Mark wants to get away from you. You got to understand that Mark wants to get away from you, and he doesn't want all his eggs in your basket because you have shown him that you will not give him a safe space, and that as soon as he is down on his luck or something happens or he makes you mad, you're going to throw it in his face. You're going to disrespect him. You're going to put his business out in the street. Like he's not safe with you. There's no safety there. So I think he just needs to do something a little different, and she needs to give him space to be himself. Like he's a man. Allow him to be a man and walk in his purpose, and stop trying to mother him and smother him into being and doing what it is that you want him to do. Yeah, I think. Well, I like your boyfriend's date. I like Mike's date. Mike did a really good date too. I felt Mike did an outstanding job. I was proud of Mike this episode. You know, I have my concerns about Michael, but Michael's been showing up, so I'm proud of him. Um, but I guess Lindsay has shared some of her traumas, past traumas with Mark, and that's made him more empathetic towards her. And I think it made him feel like I need to protect her more. And maybe that's why he expressed that. I would just caution him to be very careful because, again, he's there crying. She's looking stone faced. And I'm like, she's going to act out. And Lindsay is just Lindsay, child. Lindsay is just Lindsay. And you have to take her behavior for what it is and decide how you're going to move. You can say, I'm going to stay here and deal with it, or I'm going to walk away. I would definitely not deal with her behavior, but he did do a good job. I bet you were proud of your TV babe. He did. He really did do a good job. I'm proud of him and his improvements on communication. He improved on his um on just listening to what she wants. I think that conversation with his sister and then the other conversation Mike had with Dr. V and everybody has really made him realize that he needs to love her how she wants to be loved. Although Jasmina has so many walls up. Let's get to Mike and Jasmina. So for Mike and Jasmina, they have a lot of there's a lot of unhealed spaces. As beautiful as Jasmina is, she is terribly insecure in my opinion. And I kind of saw more of that when they were about to leave and she was like, "He's where are you going? Why are you so dressed up?" He literally had on like a little short set, nothing fancy. And she was like, "Well, people are not going to look at me and say I'm a basic bee," which side note, since when we start calling each other bees like that's okay on TV? Because I was like, why is Lindsay calling Katina? Why is Lindsay calling Katina? Y'all, were y'all offended by that? I didn't like that at all. I was like, oh no, we're not that kind of friend. My friends and I don't do that anyway, but I know some friends do. Like, we're not gonna do this name calling, okay? But I digress. So with Jasmina and Michael, he plans a beautiful breakfast for her. Like, he really made sure it was about her on their anniversary. He planned a beautiful breakfast for her. They have that candle that when they light that candle, that means they're in a good space. He lit that candle for breakfast and later he lit that candle for night. He said because their wedding day was such an important, beautiful day for them that he replanned their wedding. And I thought that was great. They did their vows over again. Like, he led in this exercise as well. And I think that's something that Jasmina needs. As tough as she tries to be, I think she really is just looking for a place where she doesn't have to defend herself. I think Jasmina has been taking care of herself for so long, she doesn't know how to put her cape down. And granted, Mike has made her feel uncomfortable at times. And I think in that discomfort, she doesn't know that she can trust him, but he really is making effort. And if you're going to decide to stay in a situation, you have to be okay with, you have to be okay with, depends on the friend. They are not friends, and that is not okay. I was like, Lindsay, you just do too much. Did you see the look on Mark's face? Mark was like, I hope this doesn't result in a fight because I just don't have time today. Y'all don't get down like that. Why you call her her name? But Katina was such in shock because Elijah Wan was O-line. It was, she didn't really get it. But I don't play that B word. No, I don't play that either. I know, like when I was young, I'll admit when we were young in high school, okay, me and only my best friend, and my best friend and I we've been friends since the 7th grade. That's the only person that's been okay with, but that's not how I play. I don't get down like that. So they go out, Mike and Jasmine, and they have a romantic dinner and they dance and they do their vows, and she looks so cute. And I just, hey, Auntie, hi, beautiful. How are you? Thank you for dropping by and supporting. I appreciate you. I can't wait to hear your rant because I know you about to give it to Elijah. Elijah, I got a lot coming. Thank you so much for coming. Um, oh, she got some yellow on. I want to see. I can't wait. So yeah, I think that what's her name? What was that? Jasmina and Mike. I think that he did a really good job. And if you're going to stay in a relationship, you have to decide how we're going to move forward and move past. You can't decide you're going to stay there and fight the whole way because it's kind of productive. The person's going to end up resenting you. You guys aren't going to get along. And your relationship is just going to become toxic and go nowhere. And I feel like, Jasmina softened up a little bit this time. So we're hoping that they do better, but I really enjoyed their dinner. I love the fact that they're in a better place. I love the fact that he is trying. And that's all you can do. When he walks away, if he walks away, he can say, I tried. And I just hope Jasmina continues to try to give him another. Ooh. I'm a shoe girl too, Auntie. I love me a shoe and a purse. I'm all about accessories. I have on Target jeans and some nice shoes and a clutch and a t-shirt, and that's all I need in my life is some earrings. Um, so that's it with really the two with Mike and Jasmina. I think I know everyone says she just doesn't like him. I don't think she's attracted to him either, but I think she wants some love and affection. So, but she has to get out of her own way. So even if it's not with Mike, I feel like you got to get out of your own way. In order to receive love, you have to be a recipient. Your feminine energy is a recipient. Women are receivers. And in order to get that, you have to be in a healthier place. And Jasmina, she's a tough cookie. She's a tough cookie. Now, Michael has his problems. If y'all see my other videos, y'all know I just said Michael needs all kind of therapy and counseling and support. I feel like Jasmina needs her fair share as well. But if you want to be in a relationship that's healthy and functioning, you need to do that work. And that's the only way you're going to get there. You have to be willing to work on yourself. But I'm proud of them. So I'm gonna get to who I really want to talk about tonight. Why I want to do this live. I wanted to do this live because, for one, I just wanted to touch base with y'all. But let's talk about Ola and Katina, y'all. If I was Katina Fran, I would have to really remind her: you teach people how to treat you by what you allow. Right? I'm one of the mindset that people. She's like, I like your arms. I think she does like her. I think Jasmina wants some love. She wants some love and some loving. And she wants some, hi, Brittany. She wants some love and some loving. But I don't know if she's willing to get it from Mike. It's funny because it's like they're kind of like buddies. And I'm curious, has Jasmina ever really had a truly romantic relationship? Like she seems so awkward when she's in that space. It just doesn't feel like she feels comfortable, and it could just be him, but I have the feeling that that's kind of just how she is. I said in my last review, I feel like she keeps distance because she doesn't want to be hurt and she doesn't want to be abandoned again, and I think that's why there's that distance there with her. I don't know, but we're gonna see. But getting back to Ola and Katina, I have to tell Katina, listen, my love, you teach people how to treat you based on what you accept. The fact that every time Ola doesn't get his way, he's scared, he's feeling insecure, he's feeling insignificant. He feels like the ghost of his Isaac past is coming back to haunt him. The fact that when this happens, he acts out and disrespects you and then encourages you to do something for him, and then you do these things, that's a sick, toxic cycle. That really is. And what you're saying is every time he acts out, you're going to do something to make him happy, and then you two can be back together again and things will be good. Like, don't allow him to get you into the place where you're constantly seeking his validation, right? I really, really don't like how Elijah treats Katina, but I am a person that's about accountability. And Katina, you have to be accountable for the behaviors that you are allowing this man to do to you. You have agency over yourself. I'm talking to her as if she's in his last home. Y'all excuse me. But for me, if I was Katina, it would be this: never, ever, ever will you disrespect me again. It happens. I'm leaving. There's no further conversation. We are done. I do think that's what high vibe. I keep saying, where is his mother? I think he's playing out the relationship with his mother. I think it has to do with um the poor relationships he's had with other women. I feel like, he may have been teased and dismissed when he was younger. I really do think that whole him never dating a black woman before. I really do think that maybe black women were not attracted to him, not because he's not a good looking guy, but because he's a lot. Off the rip, a lot of people didn't like him. They was like, oh no, he's too much. And I'm sure that's been common with him. I talked about how I feel like he struggles with how the world sees him versus how he grew up because his mom is white. I think there's a lot going on with Isaac. I think his ADHD, and I know from my profession that a lot of people who have diagnosis from childhood or younger years, they have a hard time growing up. It's made worse because they feel like I'm so different. And they make up these personalities. His personality, Isaac, is just a defense mechanism, right? But somewhere along the way, he learned that this toxic behavior, this abusive behavior, is how he gets his way. I wish we could see his mother, because yeah, I do think he's living out situations with his mother and with the other women he feels has wronged him or didn't accept him in his childhood for sure. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody, I'm sure he was teasing. I think he has that anger there. I think he feels like he's not good enough. I think he feels insignificant. I think he feels less than, like he's extremely insecure. And I think with Isaac and Katina, I think Katina empathizes with his pains and his struggles so much that she is worried about making sure he's okay. But in that, she is losing herself. You can empathize with someone, but still have a boundary and requirements for who you are as a woman and as a person. She deserves way more respect. She always covers him. She always honors him. She never disrespects him in public. She lets him have his voice. And she does that so he can feel safe with her. But he's not returning that. And it's like, Katina, honey, you can't let this man keep doing you this way, because you're going to end up losing all that you are. You're going to lose who you are. Sometimes that strong woman syndrome just leaves you empty because you keep fighting. You're fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting for this man to love you. Every time you turn around, she's doing something to please him. And I don't think Isaac is a bad guy. I think Isaac has a lot of issues. I think Ola has just like a lot of unhealed issues. And I said on another review, it would be a requirement that he went and got help before we could proceed. There's no way I would keep doing this with him. There was no reason for him to out her at the table. And it was something as simple as all he had to do is ask about the app when they got home. They could look to see if there was any activity and she could delete the app. But you decide to make her uncomfortable and embarrass her in a public setting and you smirked about it. I was like, oh no, this is this. I don't know how she keeps dealing with this, but Katina, honey, you don't have to put up with you don't have to deal with this. You don't have to allow someone to keep abusing you just so they can feel comfortable because you understand their plight, right? It's okay to understand a person's plight, but you have to require that you are treated a certain way and function a certain way in a relationship. I don't think he would, but you never know. I don't put anything past anyone because there's so much about him we don't know. I wish we could find out more about him. But I'm gonna tell you, this towering over her and yelling at her, Katina, honey, learn how. If you're gonna stay, I don't think you should. I think you need to leave. But if you're gonna stay, you need to learn how to disconnect. You need to learn how to set your boundaries and say, if you cross this line, this is what I'm doing, and follow through with it. So my thing would be, if you come to me because you feel scared, insecure, or you having a moment and you can't talk to me, he probably would grab her. You just never know. I don't like the towering thing for sure. Don't stand over me and talk over. Get on my level or say, come over here, honey, let's have a seat and let's talk about it. But I'm not for any of that because you know what, high vibe, if he was to grab her, then yeah, he's gonna hit her. One thing leads to another. That's how I've seen it, and that's how I know it to be. So, it's important to stop behavior. You can't allow people to treat you the way that he's treating her. I really hate the way that he treats her. And I hate that she basically rewards his behavior by trying to make him feel better. But she has to make him respect her. She has to make him speak to her in a manner that's okay. Like she said, I'm only human. It's only so many times you're going to keep yelling at me and telling me I'm not enough. She's saying she's being beat down on and all these other things. Isaac says, I want to protect my wife. That was part of your vows. And if I was her, I would remind him, you said you would protect me. Yet in these moments, you're not protecting me. I don't feel safe with you. He does the same thing that Lindsay does. He just pops off and embarrasses her and then acts as though nothing ever happened. Yep. It'll start with a grab or a hitting of the wall or a hitting of all of those things are signs that a fist to the face is coming next. Him just being so volatile. One minute everything is okay. Like at the dinner table, one minute everything's okay. They smiling, he's yes, yes. And the next thing you know, oh, I'll tell it. I'll tell whatever's happening. It's like, wait a minute, what happened here? You didn't feel like that was something you could have waited until y'all got home to talk about to clarify if it was even an issue, you know? For me, that's all you needed to do. Just make sure that we understand what's happening. Like I really need the experts to come in and help more with their communication skills and help him manage his emotions and manage his communication style. He needs to make sure he's taking his medicine if he's on medications. Like we need to do better because no one should have to deal with what she's dealing with. A lot of the cast is abusive, but he goes way too far consistently. Like, and he smirks when he breaks her down, and that's a problem. His highs and the lows are too extreme. He's not bound. He needs a lot, and she's trying to prove like she's okay. She's trying to prove that she can handle it. First off, this is not your cross to bear. These are his problems. Yeah, she has her own issues, but these are his problems. His insecurities are his problems. His past traumas, all of those things are his problems. That's up to Elijah to go and get help and deal with that so he can better speak to his wife and handle relationships and manage his emotions and know when to walk away and when to take a breather and how to use his words. It's like you don't know how to use your words. You just resort to violence instead of using your words and saying, Katina, you know what? I saw this app on your phone and it scared me because I felt like, thank you, Brittany. It scared me because I felt like I've given up so much to show you that I'm going to be loyal to you. And this app being on your phone make it seem like you're not. Like just have a conversation. And even if it's not true, you know, you still got your words out and she can reassure you. But instead you decide to embarrass her. And then he put his arm out. She did so good with like we just gonna leave. We just gonna leave because I'm not gonna do this. And I'm sure she's trying to protect her brand, but she's also trying to protect him and continue. You need to protect yourself first because he's not protecting you. Once your husband leaves you naked, okay, uncovered, you have to reevaluate. If he doesn't care about your safety, you have to care about your safety because he's not showing that he's a safe man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did y'all watch the after party? Anybody watch the after party? She was like cringing. Katina was, and Kev on stage's wife was there. Melissa Fredericks was there. That was nice to see her. And Jasmina were there. And they were saying even then that he was controlling how much alcohol that they drink. Talking about he doesn't like them to drink. I'm like, didn't he say he was the turn up king? Now all of a sudden they can't drink. Like Elijah, you can't control everything. I said this on another one of my reviews. I don't care how much you try to break her. The broken pieces of her will never fix the broken pieces of you. When a person has a black hole, they have a black hole, right? They're empty. That's not for you to feel. And she has to understand it. And I don't know if you guys are into zodiac signs, but she's a Cancer. And Cancers, they suffer long and strong, honey. And I hope she doesn't fall into that. Yeah, she looked like she was afraid. I don't like it. It scares me. I don't like it. And they really were a couple that I was rooting for, but this abusive cycle is not good. He says that their relationship is strong. She didn't have that same confidence when she was talking about him on the live. I mean on the after party. So I don't know. I just feel like she needs to protect herself and they need to do better. Somebody needs to intervene. And if I was her, she really needs to require more out of him or she needs to cut it. I wouldn't let him yell at me. When he starts to yell, I would get up and walk away. We don't need to talk because you don't know how to talk to me. Right? When you approach me with that negative energy, I'm going to remove myself because right now your energy doesn't sit well with me. I don't feel safe. Those will be my words. Let me let you know what's going on. I am uncomfortable. You don't make me feel safe. Yeah. I think he shows up to a lot of them too. Yeah. Watch it and let me know what you think, Monique. He's a lunatic. But you know what? He is afraid. So a lot of times abusive behavior does come out of fear, insecurity. I do think he's afraid. But Brittany, I get what you're saying because they're acting like, well, because he's afraid, that's okay. It doesn't matter that he's afraid, right? It doesn't matter. You're afraid, insecure, sad, lonely, broken, psychopathic, like whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Your behavior is out of pocket. And you got to have agency over yourself. You have to say for yourself, I won't tolerate this behavior. You know, Mrs. Vinzette was the queen of it, honey. She used to shut it down. Whenever people start acting crazy, she'd be like, okay, that's it. You don't get to talk to me this way. She used to always say that you don't get to talk to me this way. And that's what they need to do. You don't get to talk to me this way. You don't get to come in my space with that kind of energy. You don't get to disrespect me. You disrespect me again, that will be the end. And I think that's what needs to be done. And I don't know if Katina is in a place and space to do that. I think she feels like she's a little more healed than she probably is. Because no, she wouldn't put up with this if she was in a place that she says she is. She would know that this is something I can't do. But I don't know. You guys have anything else to say? I got some stuff I want to talk about outside of this. Married at First Sight. I really don't have a lot more to say about them. If you guys watch Ready to Love, I probably will drop Ready to Love. I don't know if you guys watch that on my channel or not. I just can't really get into it. But I am going to start a narcissist series and I want to do it like in a support group. And what I'm trying to decide is if I'm going to do that on this channel or do it on Patreon. So um I want to start talking with women. I want it to be a support group. That's kind of why I want to take it to Patreon, where women who've been in toxic relationship, abusive relationships with narcissists, things like that, can have a place in the space, not only to learn, but also to just kind of come into union with one another and share our experiences and share the growth and also get education. So I'll also upload videos on certain topics. My first one, oh, Brittany, thank you so much. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching it too. And that's what I think. I want to do more of that. The problem I'm having with YouTube is that, thank you, Highlight. The problem I'm having with YouTube is that they stopped pushing my videos. Like I will go a whole week without a single view and then I'll get views and then I won't. I don't know what's going on, but it's like when I do topics about abuse and things like that, they suppress my videos. But if I stick to just MAFS, then they'll put them out there. And the purpose of my channel is an education channel. I never intended to do show reviews. I started doing show reviews because I was like, oh, I can put messages in the shows. This channel was originally just an extension of my podcast. But I like doing the reviews because, again, there's messages that can be found. And so what I really want to do, hi, Bo, that's okay. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Exactly, exactly. And I think that's why I'm like, well, maybe I can put it on Patreon. I was thinking about doing Patreon for maybe like, $5 a month or something like that, where we will have support groups. We will have, I'll upload videos there. And like if items that are needed, if somebody needs certain like links, I just want a safe space for people to have those kind of conversations. I feel like these conversations are important. I feel like a lot of people are suffering or a lot of independent women feel like I got in this relationship and I don't know how I got here. And sometimes just the embarrassment of making a decision to be with an abusive person makes them feel like they're less than and they stay longer. But I want you to know you don't have to stay. Wanting to love someone or someone like love bombing you, I will do, Auntie. Oh, thank you so much. I love y'all. Thank you. I'll reach out to you, Auntie. Is your email on where's your email address? You're so thank you so much. I love you so much. I appreciate you, bro. You always show up. Thank you. Um, it wouldn't be that expensive. It wouldn't be any more than $5 a month. So you won't have to cancel your gym membership. And the only reason why I would make it 5 is because I want to make sure the people that come really wants to be there. I was thinking about doing $1 and somebody was like, no. But I want to make sure the people that come really wants to come. They really want to be part of the group. But I do want to support place and space for women to have those conversations and to get resources and just to kind of get back to yourself and understand the importance of healing. Now, it does require accountability. This isn't coaching. I'm not coaching on the channel, but it is a place of support. And I think that is important. And it's a place to get content. I love doing content on these kind of things, but like I said, YouTube doesn't like it. So I may just keep my YouTube channel just to do MAFS and then in other topics related to relationships, but take my behavioral health and all of those kind of topics off to Patreon. So I'm gonna reach out to Auntie to see what she says and do some more research to see what to do. But I feel like we need to understand that as independent, smart women, you wanting to be loved and respected doesn't mean that you should stay in a relationship where somebody is mistreating you because you don't want other people to see that you are weak, because you're not weak. You're a human being who wanted to be loved, and we all want to be loved, right? So there isn't anything wrong with that. It's just learning how to do things smarter, learning how to look for the signs and recognize the signs and trusting your gut and just getting back in tune to who you are as a woman, because we are powerful. Let me tell you something. We are so powerful. And I just wish every woman really understood their power, like how the earth moves because of you. Like a woman is everything, baby. You hear me? A woman is everything. And I feel like we give our power away so often trying to please. And I just want us to get to back to the place where we recognize who we are and the beauty that's within us and the power that we carry, like who we are. People do stay for status. They stay for status. They stay for fear of judgment. They stay for shame, all of that. The first video that I'm going to do is the independent woman and the narcissist. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, more than I usually have, because I talk about it a little bit, but not much. But I'm going to share about my story and just how I stayed because I felt defeated. And then I also stayed because I was so used to fighting, y'all. I'm like, I have overcome things. Like I have overcome all these generational curses. This man is not gonna break me down. But baby, a narcissist would take everything you have. They would take everything from you because you're so enthralled in that fight. And then you're so addicted to getting over struggle. So we're gonna see. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. High vibe. Absolutely, they will. And it's unfortunate, and um it took me a long time to understand what was going on. I grew up in a very toxic environment, and I thought I knew all the tricks. I had never encountered the narcissist like the one I fell in love with. I fell in love with him, baby, and it was ooh. But it sent me on a healing journey that got me to the place that I am now. And for that, I am grateful. Sometimes you have to be careful what you pray for. You pray for purpose. I used to pray to God that I be the woman He wants me to be. I pray for purpose. I pray for all these things. And then I had to go through a process to get to a purpose. So there's that. But I made it and I'm better than ever as far as I'm concerned. I have a lot of growth to do in a lot of ways. I am by no means a perfect person, but I trust myself now. I'm in tune with who I am as a woman now. I set my boundaries. Now, when I do date, it's like I can see this is not what I want. So I'm not going to deal with you versus let's just see what happens because he's a nice guy. I don't do any of that anymore. I don't waste my time. And I've been okay with letting go of what everybody else expected of me as a woman, and I'm able to just walk in who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. So I am going to it. Let me know if there's a particular topic you want me to talk about, but I am going to do I am going to do a narcissist series. I'm going to start with the narcissist and the independent woman, and then I'm going to go through breaking down what a narcissist is, cuz this people use that word a lot, and I have to be careful because I am a medical professional. I am licensed, but I am not licensed to diagnose. So I stick with behavior. So we're going to talk about narcissism and the behavior. I probably would just like on the Patreon do a Zoom link, and whoever wants to come and participate, we can. And then I will also upload videos there. No, a man has no time to waste in it, but you know what? You have the power, and you have the power not to allow anyone to waste your time. You have the power to say, no, you're not showing me true attentions. It's time to go, right? I don't see a vision. You don't see a vision. It's time to go. You have that power to change that. And I think I want to really get to that. Like, we have the power not to be treated a certain way. You are more powerful than you know. So don't give your power away to anybody to mistreat you. I love the love and support, ladies. Thank you so much. I will do I'll put the links later in this video for the Patreon and my website. My website is up. I'll put the links for my website. I'll put the links for Patreon and everything. Um, and I'll let you know when I upload the first video. I'll probably do a short to just say that the first video is up, and I'll let you know when my podcast is back in full effect. I miss doing my podcast. My podcast is so therapeutic for me. So I'll get back to that, and I'll let you know, guys know when that happens. So, anyone else has anything to say? Does anyone want to jump on? Does anyone have any suggestions for videos or topics? What's my definition of power? That's a great word. My definition of power is the ability to regulate who comes in your life, who walks, how they operate in your life, who you are as a woman, how you want to live your life. You have the power because we are intuitive naturally as women. We have the power to control more than what we give ourselves credit for, as far as like how people treat you, what kind of relationship you're going to be in, who you are as a woman, just all of these things. We have so much power. We have so much power. Who the world runs because of us. Like, wars have been started over us. It's like, if you really know who you are, everything is because of us. And if we stand in that and stop wanting to be accepted, stop wanting to be chosen, and understand that I'm so valuable, like I'm of value. I bring value to your life, right? The Bible, if you want to take it to the Bible says, he who finds a good thing, right? You found me. God said you can't be alone. He didn't say I couldn't be alone. He sent you some help. And that's not to say I don't love my man, because I love my man. I'm gonna do a whole series about men. Because the men in my life growing up actually made me the woman who I am. They reminded me of the power. Women in my life was telling me, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm a Gemini. I am an air sign. I'm a Gemini. Um, I love Auntie's rants too. I can't wait to hear this week. Thank you, love. Thank you. Um, what was I saying? But those are your things that are that's your power. That's what makes you so powerful. But the men in my life made me who I am as a woman. The men in my life are the ones who told me how much we mean to them. The men in my life was like, what you don't tolerate. They are the ones who promoted me being independent. A lot of the women in my life growing up wanted me to accept things that a woman shouldn't accept. They wanted me to accept abuse. They wanted me to accept be the second woman. Like, the things that a lot of the women taught me it was based off of a different time, right? Where women had to be attached to a man to be somebody. But the men in my life were like, no, you're gonna know how to drive a stick, you're gonna know how, you're gonna be resourceful, you're gonna know how to take care of yourself, you're gonna know that you are beautiful, you're gonna know that your body isn't a tool to be used. It was the men in my life who did that for me. Hey honey. Thank you. I appreciate that. The one thing I've noticed is that people assume that you don't. That's true. Or they assume that you can't get a man. They'll be like, "You just can't get a man. She can't get a man. She can't keep a man." See, the key word there is a man. A man versus the right man for me are two different things, right? A man is a man that can go upside your head, that can take all your money, that can use and abuse you, that can sleep, with your family members, touch your children. A man isn't what we want. What we want is the right man for us, the man with integrity, a man that's going to love you, honor you, respect you, right? A man that can lead. And when I talk about lead, I talk about a man who knows that leadership also means service. So, leadership and submission, all those things are about trust and service, right? I need a man who can do those things for me. I want to be taken care of. I want to be protected and provided for on all levels, not just financially. I need to know you can protect my heart. I need to know you're not going to be out in the streets. I know you're not going to bring anything home. You're not going to allow anyone to invade our home. Like, that's what you're looking for. And until you get that, you don't settle for a man. And I think a lot of times people just want a man. Yeah, they promoted that. They promoted that fighting. They promoted cheating. They promoted him having whole families across the pond and all kind of things. Yeah, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I've had women tell me it's. I'd be like, oh, well, he's married, so I decided not to talk to him. And they'll be like, he obviously doesn't love his wife. Like, why would you want me to be with a man? Why would you promote me being with a married man? Why would you promote me hurting another woman that way? Why would you promote me doing that to myself? Not to say that things haven't happened, right? I haven't been perfect. I dated somebody that was going through a separation. I'll share that story later. I'll never do that again because I'm gonna need you to be divorced, separated, and going on about your life before I intertwine. Because when it all came out and I saw that I played a role in hurting her because he hadn't been that honest with me, I didn't like the pain that I caused her. And I vowed I would never do that to another woman again. Yeah, you'll be surprised. You better say it. I got one too. Right. He needs more than a career. What else can you offer me besides a career? And that's another thing. Back in the day, all men had to provide was financial security, right? Because everything went through them. That's not today's time. We have our own financial security. I need you to offer me security on other levels, as well as being financially stable and knowing how to manage your money well. Dating a man with children, it depends on the relationship he has with the mother. I would pay attention to how he talks about the mother. If he talks down about her, no. I mean, once you get a certain age, it's kind of hard to date a guy who doesn't have children. But how many children? How young are the how what the ages are, that makes a big difference because they could still have a relationship happening. How he talks about her, how he treats her. Excuse me, if she's the super villain and he calls her all kind of names, no, because he's gonna disrespect you too. Like, never think that the behavior he gives to someone else isn't gonna come your way. Usually that's who they are as a man or as a person. Um, I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. I dated one guy, my ex-fiance actually had a child, and I got to see what a wonderful father he is. And it actually made me want to marry him because he was such a great father, right? And I always said that if I had kids, I had to be married and the man had to be a great father. And he was that. But yeah, There were other issues that both of us had that we didn't work out. I was really too young though. I was 23 years old. We met when I was 21. I was too young to get married. But I think it just depends on a lot. That is a good question. Yes, Monique. I have I have dated both. I have dated both. And I will, if there's no, like, if they don't have a relationship with their child, I won't. I have an ex that wants to come back. For one, you're ex for a reason. But another problem I have is that he has a daughter and he doesn't take care of her. Like, he's not in her life, and I won't deal with a man who will not be there for his children. If you will abandon your children, you will abandon anybody. And so I don't want anything to do with that. So there isn't anything wrong with it. Just look at the other factors. Consider all factors. And you know how you feel. Trust yourself. Trust how you feel. You know how you feel. And you know if it doesn't feel right. And you can say, no, this doesn't work for me. And you move on. Before you get vested, just guard your heart. So don't give him too much of your time. Don't give him your body. Don't let him make up all these, stories about how y'all gonna live happily ever after. Just be mindful and guard your heart. But date with caution. But I don't see anything wrong with it as long as it's on the up and up. That's a great question. Any other questions? Yes. It is so important to, um when you date with intention, to make sure that you guys are on the same page. And if he doesn't want any more, walk away. Don't feel like you can change his mind. If you go into that relationship otherwise, you got to know he may not change his mind, you know? And then you're going to be resentful later because you thought you could have changed his mind. But yeah. Do you want children, Brittany? Can we ask? Let us know if you want children. No, your intuition would never lie. But we don't trust ourselves a lot of times, high vibe. That's another thing that I really promote. We don't trust ourselves a lot to um trust our intuition. And then we'll say, I knew I shouldn't have, I knew I shouldn't have, or I was thinking to myself, something's not right, but I went on ahead. Once you are in a healthy place with yourself, you should be your own best friend. Once you are in that place, that's not right. I'm not going to do it. I got a short story. So I just joined a women's group, right? And I joined it. It's a trauma women's group. I joined it to support my friend, and for two, you guys know I promote therapy, and I always feel like you can always keep talking about or keep working on. Sorry, you can always keep working on being better, being healthier, getting other tools and things like that. And I was there's a person in the group. I automatically am like, something's not right with her. And so I'm like, okay, I'm about to leave this group. I talked to my friend about it today because she invited me to the group. But I don't care what the setting is, whether it's a romantic relationship or any kind of relationship. If my energy doesn't feel safe in here, in that space, I remove myself. You have the power to remove yourself. You always have a choice, right? It's official. I feel like okay, we're all friends. We're family. You know how I get down. We're family. Yep. Brittany, it's just about assessing the situation, right? Everybody, I can understand how that would be traumatic. I personally, if the child is under 5 years old, no, I really prefer, because I'm 45. So at 45, I really need your kids to be grown. I really need your kids to be like teenager grown, but I'm 45. I don't know how old you are. So, just assess the situation carefully. Make sure everything makes sense and pay attention to the signs. If he's calling his baby mama bees and she ain't this and she don't do that and all these other things, like if it comes off toxic right away, just let it go. Let it go. But thank you for sharing and thank you for asking the question. Does anyone else have any questions? Oh, that's nice, Kimberly. See, Brittany, there's hope. Um, I haven't, child, they all divorced, well, with kids. Some of them with younger kids, but that's good, Kimberly. Yeah, it's nice not to have that attachment, um, or have to worry if that's an issue, as far as like how the relationship is with child's mother and things of that sort. But good for you. You have to keep us updated on your new boo if you get one. When you get one, we're gonna say when. We're not gonna say if, because that's doubt. We don't have doubt. You're gonna find your husband, Miss Kimberly, and y'all gonna travel, and he's gonna be a chef and financially stable and financially stable. All the things. We put it out there in the universe for Kimberly. Anything else, ladies? Any other topics? Any other topic? So I do want to start doing more lives. I probably won't do them on MAFS, just lives, just us chit chatting and talking. And then I'll keep you guys updated with everything else. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, showing me some love and support, for your comments, just for being the beautiful women that you are. And men, if there's some men on this live, there's 12 people on the live. I appreciate you all. Please make sure you thumbs up the video. And we will be back next time. I appreciate you. I adore you. And I thank you so much. Please don't forget to love yourself for who you are. I want y'all to have a good night, okay? Oh, one more thing. Freeze your yeah. Thank you, High Vibe. I kind of figured you were in healthcare too. I enjoyed you too, love. Thank you so much. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate you. You know what, Monique? I know some people are leaving. Before you go, I have a question for you about that. You said you have a close relationship with the two children. How does that make you feel? Like, I know you're grateful for them, but that's one thing I know a lot of women are concerned about. They feel like when they are um in a relationship with someone who has kids, and then that relationship with the children is developed and then they're separated, like that's really hard for them. If you're still here, let me know how you feel about that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna wait just a little bit, Monique, because you may have dropped off already. If you did, that's okay. We could talk about it another time. You guys can give me topics to talk about at another time too. I would enjoy that greatly. Okay, that's it. All right. I don't want to leave too much dead air. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you next time. All right, y'all. Take care. Have a good night.